Good Wednesday morning, TSE family. Hey, Geraldine, Brian, Janie, John, Julie, James. Hey, Vicky, Marilyn. This is going to be a whopper. Yep, this is going to be a whopper. Not to give Burger King any advertising free for them. They're the one that makes the whopper. But wow, this is going to be big, y'all. This is going to be a monster of a storm system. You can see the area low pressure right here that's going to be moving in. Right there it is. And we got this dip in the jet stream here coming down. I can show you this on radar here. I did a lot of work before I went live here. There's the area low pressure. You see this dip in the jet stream here, bringing in the colder air. Boy, this combination mix, guys, is not a good thing. I've been talking to y'all. Man, I've been talking about this event as a possibility for, what, a couple weeks? I said, man, oh man, with this Pineapple Express coming out of Hawaii, with all that moisture, all we got to have is a mixture of cold air coming down the same time, mixing with that moisture. And y'all, that's exactly what is going to happen. The Pineapple Express, meaning all that moisture coming all the way from Hawaii, mixing in with the colder air here, is absolutely going to create a catastrophic mess for people. And what does catastrophic mean when I say that? That's a huge word to use, isn't it? Catastrophic, when I say this, I'm meaning it, y'all, to mean the conditions are going to be life-threatening. When you lose power in the temperatures that's going to happen, that alone is considered catastrophic. If you lose power for a long period of time, some of you will lose power for not 24 hours, not 2 days, not a week, but you guys are going to lose power for multiple weeks in some cases. Can you imagine losing power for 3 or 4 weeks, guys? This is what we're facing here. The honesty, I got to be honest with y'all about it. You're going to lose. Some people are going to lose power for 3 or 4 week time frame. Are you prepared to have no power for 3 to 4 weeks with major cold air coming in as well? That is why I'm using the word catastrophic. I don't use that word just to throw it out there. Now, I may be the only one saying catastrophic, and if I am, I'm not doing it for hype. I'm telling you the facts as they lie. And right now we have a catastrophic freezing rain event coming into play. And almost nearly a catastrophic snow event as well. How can that happen? When you get 2 feet of snow on your rooftop, the weight alone could crash your roof in, y'all. That's an amazing amount of weight on your roof. And so this is going to be an incredible snowstorm and freezing rainstorm and sleet storm. Now, a lot of people have not talked about sleet. All we're talking about is freezing rain and snow, right? Well, here's the deal at hand. You're going to have a snow line where snow is. Then right below that snow, right at that snow line, is going to be a transitional event where you're going to have sleet and freezing rain. Now, what's the difference? Well, sleet pellets fall through the atmosphere as a droplet and then freezes, and it freezes all the way down. It doesn't come through as a flake. It comes through as a sleet. It starts off as a snowflake, then melts in the lower levels of the atmosphere, in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Then as it's going through the lower level of the atmosphere, it freezes again and becomes a pellet, an ice pellet. I'd rather drive on sleet any day of the week than what I would on freezing rain. Freezing rain is the worst case scenario for driving. There is no driving on freezing rain. You can drive a little bit on sleet, and you can drive on snow if you're careful. You know what you're doing. Okay. The Weather Channel is using this word also. I did not know that. If they are, I commend them for doing so because it needs to be used. This is a catastrophic event. It is a life-threatening event. All right, let me go forward here now. I'm gonna minimize this. And you can see the area low pressure right there. It's a deep area low pressure. It started down in here, y'all. It almost looked like a tropical storm developing. And you can see right there, it's got lower level spin right there associated with it. Not non-tropical, probably more extratropical if anything. But it's going to work its way in this direction right through here. And boy, oh boy, that is, you can see how strong that looks. It's going to work its way all the way through all the way toward Texas, toward Oklahoma region is what it's going to do. All right, let's get going here. Now I told you guys they take baby steps, right? The Weather Prediction Center, who forecasts this severity of winter events. I'm telling you right now, if you're anywhere in this red area, you have a very dangerous situation at hand. Okay. Now I've been putting some AI graphics out there. Some of y'all have just been nitpicking like crazy, and it's not been a single subscriber. It's been the non-subscribers. Okay, that's been nitpicking them. You know, if you want to nitpick it, that's fine. I don't really care. But the overall outlook that I've been posted out there has been 100% correct. Now, I did some refining when I use the Chat GPT. Guys, if you don't use Chat GPT to do some research on some things, you're missing out. But you have to know how to use it, and I'm getting better at it now. Okay, I went out there and I told Chat GPT, I said I need more accuracy to the maps. I need more accuracy on this freezing rain. And it said, okay, we can do that. And when I put the modeling in and it spit it out, it's doing a much better job. Okay. Now, why do I use ChatGPT? It is the, first of all, it can put words out there in a much better way probably than I could ever type it. Okay. It's more accurate. Okay, the accuracy of it is much more. It does a lot more research for these individual areas through here than what I can do. It'd take me hours to zoom in and figure out what the reality of all this is going to be, where I can do it in about a 5-minute time frame with ChatGPT. Now, I pay for the pro model. Okay, you can't do this what I do with just an ordinary ChatGPT. You have to pay that $25 a month using the pro model version of it. And hey, I don't have a problem using you're paying $25 a month for its help. And that's what I do. It's a tool to help me with you guys. It's just a tool. The accuracy of it can be somewhat wrong sometimes, and I apologize when it happens like that. It put 2 different places of Shreveport, one up here, one down there one time. And I thought, well, you guys it's got to be more accurate than that. And I went out there and you know what, you tell it to redefine things, and it will. It will. Well, that's been my problem. I had to go in there and do it. All right. Verse of the day comes from Proverbs 18:10. And it says, the name of the Lord is a strong fortress. The godly run to him and are safe. This is Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong fortress. The godly run to him and are safe. Run to him and you'll be safe. Y'all. All right, let's get going with the rest of it. All right, now, what I have up here is a European model. Fast forward here. This is freezing rain. Now, y'all, I'm going to use Texas as an example. And the Houston area. Are you going to get freezing rain? Well, if you look at the European model here currently, this is the most recent model out. If you look at the Houston area, I'm going to say it's about right in there. You're right on the edge of that freezing rain, right? You're right on the edge of it. This is the main area of concern right there. Y'all, that's 3 inches of freezing rain. Arkansas, the north, I guess you call it the northeast corner there of Texas. You're getting into that 2-inch rainfall totals. My God, it's going to be catastrophic stuff if it happen. Back here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, am I concerned? Yes. You're getting nearly 1 inch of freezing rain in this area of central Texas. 1 inch of freezing rain here. Now, this is the European model guidance I'm using right here. I feel like it's the best one probably to use. Is it different on the GFS model? Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But it gives us a pretty good baseline as to how bad this is going to be. Use this. Look at this. Look where you're at. Do you have pink in your area? It might only be a glaze, guys. A tenth of an inch is a dangerous tenth of an inch. Okay? You cannot drive on freezing rain even with a tenth of an inch. 1/10 of an inch you can't drive on. Now, a tenth of an inch probably won't bring your trees and limbs down across power lines. Probably won't bring power lines down. Won't snap the power poles. You get up to an inch, like it is here, and well over an inch over here, even as much as 3 inches, that's catastrophic stuff. That will bring the power lines down and bring power poles down with it. This will bring trees down. When those trees come down, what happens to the power? Those trees will fall right across those power lines. How long will it take the power companies to get in there and fix all of that kind of stuff? Y'all, it's a week's process. Maybe more than a week. Maybe 2 weeks. God forbid, maybe 3 weeks. I am not sugarcoating y'all. I'm telling you the facts. I've lived through this. I know what happens when you get this much freezing rain. You go over to the east, the southeast region. Catastrophic stuff here. Catastrophic stuff over here. I mean, absolutely annihilating stuff right there, guys. I can't stress it enough how bad this is going to be. So now here's the thing in hand. Here's sleet. Do you see the sleet? That sleet is right on the northern side of that freezing rain, is it? The central region. There's just sleet back here. It's not a lot of sleet showing up on the European model. In some cases, it is 2 inches. Okay, so where's the snow line at? Well, it's just going to be right there. Right there's your snow line. So some of you even asked me, well, Tim, why is it that your model graphic you showed, it doesn't show it's showing frozen precipitation in Kentucky? Well, if you look at the freezing rain line, where's it at? It's right there in Kentucky, barely getting up there into Kentucky with a half an inch. Okay, that's why my ChatGPT thing is showing freezing rain up there in Kentucky. Some of you guys are wondering, like, well, how about Georgia? You know, why isn't Georgia on your graphic here with some tremendous freezing rain? You got to read things, guys. Read what verbiage is spit out. Every time and almost in every instance, Georgia is talked about with freezing rain in the Atlanta area. Okay? Now, again, might that get what? Might it be sleet that comes into the area? It doesn't show any sleet there in Atlanta, Georgia area, does it? It does not. Snow? Snow is all up here. Boy, and how much snow? Look at that. Southern Indiana, foot of snow. Nearly all of Kentucky, at least 1 foot of snow. At least 1 foot of snow. I mean, this is a snow Armageddon, if you want to call it that. Y'all, it is a dumping of snow back in Kansas. Missouri is a dumping of snow back in here. Over a foot, in some cases 2 feet of snow. So this is a whopper of an event. It is impossible today to tell you who's going to get snow, who's going to get sleet, and who's going to get freezing rain. Up here, I think it's pretty well defined. That's going to be snow. That will not be freezing rain, or probably won't be sleet up here. That is going to be snow. Right here, in this sector right there, there's your fight line. Is that fight line, is that going to be further snow in the south? Or is it going to be sleet? Or what might it be freezing rain? There's your fight line. If you look at the snow lines there, and you look at that freezing rain line, it's right on that snow line. There it is. It's a defining factor here with the models. Now we're still not in those short range models yet. We're not quite there yet. Okay, it's coming, but we're not there yet. Maybe by tonight, when I do the broadcast tonight, or maybe even tomorrow, for sure, those short range models, we'll be able to see those, to see what's going to happen. When does all this start to take place? Let me back this up for y'all. Everything starts in Texas. All right. Right there, we're going to stop. What's the day? What time is it? That is showing Friday at 5 p.m. So at 5 p.m. Let's go to midnight. There's midnight right there. There's what looks like Friday at midnight, or early Saturday morning in this case. Let's go in the early morning hours of Saturday. You see that freezing rain keeps growing, doesn't it? There's noontime. Can't drive in this area now. It's done. It is already done. If you need to be where you're at well before this gets here. This is what it looks like again at noon on Saturday. You cannot drive. Okay, cannot drive anywhere in that pink right there. Do not even try it. So what must you be? You got to be where you're at really Friday night. You need to be in your safe place. Okay, whether it be at your home, a friend's home, or family person's home. By Friday evening, you got to be where you're going to be. Because by noontime Saturday, it's going to get super bad, y'all. It's going to get super bad by noontime Saturday. Now let's go forward here. And look how it keeps getting worse. Look at Arkansas. Look how red it's getting. And look at this. Look at the freezing rain spreading southward. Spreading southward through Texas, isn't it? Look at that. Now that's the end of the freezing rain in this sector here. Let's go over here now. Let's go to the south. Let's just go to the east. We'll be able to see it right here. Let's go to the east. Now, where does it enter, say, Tennessee? What time does it come into Tennessee? All right. At 6 a.m. on Saturday. So what does that mean? Y'all, when you go at Friday night, you need to be in your safe zone. Friday evening, go to your family's house, a friend's house if you want, that may have what? First of all, you got to prep your home. You must prep your home for loss of power. You got to. If you do not, you're going to come home to a home that's destroyed. Do your preparations. Empty your water out of your pipes, okay? Shut your water off. Empty the water out of all your pipes. Leave your faucets on. Okay, it's not gonna hurt anything. You turn your water off at your before it gets into your house. Okay, so get that water turned off. And if you have no heat source, when you lose electricity, what you gotta do? You gotta go to somebody else's house, because this is gonna be a crazy cold event for the next 4 days. All right, so here it is. We're right at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and here comes the freezing rain into Tennessee. There's what it looks like at midnight. There's midnight on Sunday. Sunday morning at midnight. So what does that mean over here in say in North Carolina and South Carolina region? Really by noon on Saturday over here. I'm talking to you guys in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. You need to be where you're at by as early as Saturday morning. You need to be where you're at. Saturday morning. If you get to noontime, you're taking a chance of really messing your car up and possibly endangering your family. And there it comes in the afternoon of Saturday. And then look what it looks like. Looks what it looks like on early morning hours of Sunday morning. Guys, look how much freezing rain comes in there. All the way up to the northeast. All the way up to the northeast. Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland area. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I mean, going to be very dangerous conditions here, guys. I can't stress it enough. If you're anywhere in this pink, you have a very dangerous situation coming in hand. And the snow here, the snow line here, just look at this. I mean, this is nuts. Are you prepared for 2 feet of snow up here in Pennsylvania? Are you prepared for a foot of snow through almost the entire state of Indiana? It is the entire state of Indiana. It's getting at least a foot of snow. Y'all, this is not fantasy now. This is reality. Ohio, are you ready for at least well over a foot of snow? Kentucky, are you ready for a half a foot of snow in some cases? And maybe, what if you get freezing rain first and then the snow coming in on top of it? How bad would those roads be? My, oh my, oh my, oh my. If you get a glaze of freezing rain down, and let's say you get a half an inch of freezing rain, then you get a foot of snow on top of it. Can you imagine the weight that's coming down? That's on those trees, bearing down those trees. They can't stand it, y'all. They will break. They'll pop. They'll snap. They'll break. Huge limbs will break. Where are they going to break at? Well, it's going to bring down power lines. It's going to bring down power lines, and you're going to have no chance of having power for. Man, guys, there's going to be. I hate it, man. There's going to be cases that somebody's going to lose power for nearly a month. Yeah, somebody's going to lose power for nearly a month somewhere on this graphic, somewhere. And that's the honest truth. Are you prepared to lose power for no month? For a month? You better have a generator, Casey, or at least some heat source. If you have a fireplace, make sure you got tons of firewood. If you have a generator, you got to have what? You got to have the ability to run that generator. My generator runs off of gas, or it runs off of propane. I have a dual generator that runs off gas and propane. I can use it both ways. I've currently only put propane through it. I have 4 propane tanks. I keep I keep at least 2 propane tanks full at all times. At all times. And that's the kind of things you got to think about. Now, if you have a generator for heat, do you need to run that generator nonstop? Nope. Run it to warm up your heat, your temperature in your house, maybe to 50 degrees, then shut it off for a while. Okay? But you got to have a heat source if you're staying in your home. If you don't have a heat source, I would probably advise you don't stay in your home. Don't stay in your home if you do not have a heat source. Go to somebody's house that does have a heat source. But before you leave your home, you must prep it. You must prep it as if that electricity is going to be gone. It's going to be gone for a long period of time. You got to make sure there's no water in your lines. Drain those water lines, and get to a safe place where you know you're going to have heat. Because guys, if you stay and then you can't get out, well, you're being dependent upon what? Emergency workers to get to you. Well, what if they can't get to you? How many of you all have ever seen? Now I have. How many of you all have ever seen about a half an inch of freezing rain and well over 15 inches of snow on top of it? Has anybody ever seen that before? Have you ever tried to drive on something like that? Have you ever seen that before? I have. I have. I know what it does. I'm a southern boy here from Indiana. I live about right here. About where I got the pointer at. It's where I came from. I'm just basically south of Bloomington, Indiana. Y'all, this is going to be the type. Houston went through something like this. I don't know. James did. You can have to help me out. In the ice storm that you guys got, did you get say a half an inch of freezing rain and then snow on top of it, or was it all just freezing rain? I can't remember it for sure. I don't know. But those of you that remember it, okay, it's indrivable, first of all. And how many of y'all lost power during that time? And how long did it take to get power back on? Y'all, you can't go through this. I'm telling you, I can't. I can just plead with you all I can, but I'm telling you, without any hype here at all, what is going to come. These models are, at this point, they're not lying right now, guys. These models are not lying to us. They're telling us what is going to happen. Here is the GFS model. It's updating right now, so I have to go to the 6Z run. This is the snow I got up here. Gosh, look at the snow. Look at, as a matter of fact, I want you to watch this something real close here. There is one snow event coming through here. Then behind it, there's some more energy coming. Look at the energy coming behind it. There's another snow event. Now, it is laying down the snow in a much more compact area right through here, and not necessarily getting up here in the northern parts, say, of Indiana. It looks completely different than what the European model is showing us, isn't it? There's a difference there. But if you go on out, is there another snowstorm that comes? There it comes. Look at that. Look, here comes another one. It's a little further south, isn't it? That narrows down in here. Now, if I go to the central region over here, you can see your snow. Now, here's the freezing rain totals for all this. There's your freezing rain on the GFS model. Where's it go? It goes all the way through Houston, doesn't it? Covers 3/4 of Louisiana. Goes right through the heart of Mississippi. Up here into Alabama. Then you go over to Georgia. You can see what Georgia looks like. Again, now, the GFS model, European model, don't agree with this. The exact tracking here, does it? There is a difference in it, right? Again, here's the GFS model. Here's the European model. To show you the difference. See, the GFS model is further south. The European model is further north. And with that said, the European model is putting down a lot more freezing rain. But the GFS model is still putting down freezing rain, guys. It's still putting down freezing rain. Just not quite to the same degree. Now, I certainly hope, now in that case right there, that's 2.78 inches of freezing rain there in Georgia and Alabama. Again, that area right there, if this pans out to be true, catastrophic stuff right there. Catastrophic. The European model is definitely putting down a lot more catastrophic stuff. So is it the worst case scenario? I think it probably is. The European model is probably the worst case scenario right now that we're seeing. It definitely is. And even the snow, the GFS model and the European model disagree with each other. It's not putting down nearly as much snow as what the European model is. The GFS model, European model, they don't agree. And look at that second snowstorm coming into play there. Here comes that second one after this one. You can see that, like, watch this area right through here. There's another snowstorm that's following on the footsteps of this one. Look at it. Here it comes. Look at the snowfall totals growing right there in West Virginia right there. And here comes another one. There's like 3 snowstorms, 3 winter events over basically a week and a half timeline. 3 snowstorms. Weather's not going to improve much, y'all, in between. You get the picture now. Once you lose your power, you're not going to gain that power maybe for weeks in some cases. So please, for God's sakes, I can't stress enough. Here we're on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Wednesday. Get out there. Think about what you got to get. Think about where you're going to go. If you have a family or little kids, don't put those little kids in danger, for God's sakes. Make sure you have a source of energy for heat. You must have a heat source of some type in your home. If you do not, prep at home and leave and go to somebody else that does. I cannot stress that enough. I can't stress it enough, y'all. These models are not lying to us at this point. This is probably a great look right here. This is the National Blend of models. And what I'm going to put up here is just ice accumulation. If you're anywhere in this pink here, anywhere in that pink, this is the ice accumulation. This gives you a pretty good barometer as to where the possibility of frozen precipitation of some type is going to be. If you live, man, I tell you what, if you live anywhere along the Gulf Coast states here, say from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia there, and get over in the Atlantic seaboard side of South Carolina, North Carolina, getting up there into Virginia, yeah, you can't really, you honestly can't really stay. Unless you have a reasonable heat source. Okay, you got to have a heat source. Okay, let me go back over to the central region now again. Again, all the way through Louisiana, basically. Almost all of Texas here. Almost all of Texas. This part of Texas, on the national blend of models, this is the average of all the models put together. It's given us a half an inch of frozen precipitation. Now, there is a difference now between this, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Might some of this up here be snow? Well, yeah, it's showing maybe a half an inch of precipitation falling, which could it translate into what? Well, that could translate into 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. That half an inch could. So you got to understand what this is showing. This is just showing you ice accumulation, no matter what kind of frozen precipitation it is, whether it be sleet, freezing rain, or snow. It doesn't tell us which one it is, though, on the National Blend of Models. The only way it shows it is up here. There's your snow lines way up here. You notice the snow is down here in the central part of Texas. Oh, where's that? Where's that ice accumulation at? Look right through there. Oh, it's right through there too. So there's a battle going there between snow, sleet, and freezing rain at that point. So y'all, I don't know what's going to happen yet. I can't tell you. I did take a sick day today. My leg popped again yesterday, so I stayed home today to try to keep it elevated as much as I can. I have to get this leg I take care of myself, and when it pops, I get tremendous swelling in. I can't walk. I can't hardly walk right now. So I'm off today, and I'll be watching the models as they update today. If there's a major change in them, I'll come back live. Otherwise, I'm going to come back live on tonight about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all, this is bad. I wish I had more confidence in telling you guys what exactly is going to happen. If you look at the global ensembles, this is the European ensembling here. This is for snow. That's what it's showing right there for snow. This is freezing rain on the European ensembles. Where's that freezing rain line at? Well, it's right there's the worst of it. But look where it's at. It's throughout the entire state of Texas almost the entire state of Louisiana. Most of all of Alabama or Mississippi there. You go to the east. Where's it at? Man, there's a danger problem right there. Big time dangerous problem right there in North Carolina, South Carolina region. Over back into Georgia, Atlanta area. Big time dangerous problem. Now this is European ensembles. Here's the GFS ensembles. Here's your snow. Now what it doesn't do, the GFS does not give us freezing rain on the ensembling. Let's look at the Canadian ensembles. There's its snow. It's a little bit further north, as you can see. You go back here to the, let's see, where did I go to? The South Central region there. You can see the snow line there on the Canadian ensembles. Where was it at on the GFS ensembles there? You see that snow line there. But go on out, you see a little bit more snow. That means, y'all, this snow event here, the first one, is going to be followed by about 2 more events. There's 2 more winter events coming in behind this one. This is the Big Daddy, okay? But you got Little Mama and Little Child coming behind it, what we got, okay? And both of them are going to be putting down mainly snow is what it's going to be mainly to be. I don't think those other ones are going to be freezing rain events. They look like to me on the models they're showing up as snow. So y'all, let's get out of here. I'll watch for these models as they update, and when they update, I'll put them out there to you. The GFS model is updating in the midst of updating. See how far out it is. It's only 48 hours out right now. When this model updates, I'll put that update out there for you to see, and I'll use ChatGPT to give you an update and refined update really closely into Texas and these states down here in the south where the freezing rain is going to be. I've redefined ChatGPT. I've now told it to learn more detailed and more crafted information to throw out to you guys. You can you can make it learn, y'all, and that's what I've done. I've taught it to learn, to give more detailed information out. And if you don't know how to use it, it's a craft. It's a little hard to get going with it, but once you understand how to make it do the things you want it to do, it's a great tool. It's just absolutely a great tool to use, and it's fast for me. I put the weather maps in. I tell them exactly what I'm going to say, basically, and it spits it out for us, and it does a decent job. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here, get my leg up, and y'all have a wonderful day. I'm telling y'all, I can't stress enough. I'm gonna put the European model up here again. I'm gonna use the European model as a basis here. That's all I'm doing, using it as a basis. So this is the snow. Really big snow totals here, isn't it? Really big snow totals here. This is a sleet. Fairly large sleet totals right there. Right where the snow line is, there's also a sleet line. But this is the danger thing right here. Is this, I mean, 3 inches of freezing rain in that darker red area. 3 inches, guys. I can't stress enough. That is catastrophic stuff. Back here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you're getting, let me just zoom in there into Dallas. Look at your totals. There's 1 1/4 inches right there. Many places in there has 3/4 inches or even close to an inch of freezing rain in this area. What is that going to do? Here, I'm gonna even help you out even more. Look at this. What do we have here? That's over 38 miles per hour wind gust. Now let me help you out here. You're getting an inch of freezing rain with 38 mile per hour wind gusts, right? This is not what I wanted. Hold on here. There you go. It's the ice storm index here. All right. You got an inch of freezing rain with 30 mile per hour wind gust, right? Let's look at the table here. Okay, so we're gonna look for an inch of rain. Where are we at here? There's an inch of rain right there. There's an inch of rain right here. Let's look at the 3 here. Okay. Now, what was our wind gust? Over 30, right? So then we got to look for 30. Greater than 30, 35. It only takes 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch to bring numerous power feeds down. Let's go to here. Let's go to even down here. 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gust. What does it need? Only 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch to bring prolonged and widespread utility interruptions with extensive damage to main disruption feeder lines. That means those big, huge feeder lines are down. Now, when you get down here to 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, from 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch, what if you get greater than 35 miles an hour or greater than 25 miles an hour with an inch of freezing rain? I just showed you. There's your wind. I showed you your freezing rain. What is that in the area? I'm looking straight there into the Dallas area. You got at least 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain in the area. At least 3/4 of an inch. So you go over there and you look at the 3/4 of an inch. Right, it is right there. It's right there. Where you got over 35 mile per hour wind gusts. Where's that? Where you at? Guys, you're in Category 5. That's Category 5 status. That's catastrophic damage to the entire exposed utility system. That means main feeder lines, small lines, you name it, it's down. Outages could last several weeks in some areas. Shelters needed. Y'all, this is, without a doubt, some of the smallest totals we're looking at with freezing rain. When you get over there in Louisiana area, I mean, that is really bad stuff. Look at this. 2.5 inches. 2.2, I see. 2.5 up here. 2.414 up there. You go up here in Arkansas. Look at that. I mean, poor Arkansas. So 3 inches of freezing rain in that sector right there. 3 inches. Now, how bad's the wind there going to look like? Looks like you got wind gusts there of around 30. Let's just say 30, 25 to 30. But you got what? You got 3 inches of freezing rain. Where's it at? Y'all look down here. Greater than 1.5 inches, you don't need. You don't even need wind. You don't need wind. There's no wind even needed. But even if you did need it, you still got 20, 25 mile per hour, and as much as 30 miles an hour there in Arkansas, in that places. Are y'all getting the point here now? Y'all, it's a combination of, my gosh, this wind, and it doesn't have to be really strong wind, with all that weight on those trees and power lines. It's going to be a catastrophic event coming up here. Okay, I can't sugarcoat it. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's catastrophic. If we get that kind of freezing rain, unless God forbid that happens, let's just pray God that's not going to happen. That these models are going to come out to a reasonable range. A reasonable range for me would be a 1/2 inch of freezing rain. I don't think that's a possibility. At this point in time, these models are all kind of locked into the same stuff. I don't see that freezing rain totals coming down. It may come down a little bit. Hopefully it comes down a lot. I don't foresee that happening. These models have been locked into this for some time. So, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, you better prepare to lose your power. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, you better prepare to lose your power. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, you better prepare to lose your power. If you don't, you're going to be way underprepared, guys. That's the truth. Would you rather be overprepared or underprepared? I know where I always am. I'm going to always overprepare. And then I hope I don't have to need it. And that's what I'm going to leave it with. Overprepare, y'all. That's the word of the day. Overprepare. Maybe it's 2 words of the day, right? Either way, y'all have a great day. God bless you all, and I'll see you guys tonight. If something crazy comes up on the models, I may come back live here maybe this afternoon. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day, everyone.